great to see you again. We finally made it to your neck of the woods.
It's awesome to see you.
And we're here to see your wonderful motorcycles that we've heard so much about, of course.
I got a couple.
Yeah, a few. And we see some cars on the way in here.
Yeah.
Is this what you sent us to see?
This is where I started.
So you upgraded from, well, that looks like an extended front end on a, what make of bicycle is that?
It's a Schwinn, I think.
It is a Schwinn.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we started building choppers back in the day.
Okay, so I was kind of looking for something a little more intriguing on the motorcycle side. We're not missing a point here, are we? Or
no, we do have motorized versions.
Yeah. Whereabouts?
In there.
Behind the garage door?
Behind the garage door.
Well, then show us. Let's have a look.
I shall do that.
Okay, what do we got? Fantastic. Wow. Turbocharged?
It is.
Wow, Steve, you know, I heard you're a Suzuki man, but this is beautiful. And you built this yourself?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it.
It started out as a kind of a road racing katana, but I already had something that had already created kind of a road racer, so this was my drag bike take on a motorcycle.
And this is a daily street rider for you?
You can ride it on the street. It might be a little bit noisy because if you look at the exhaust pipe, it's kind of a dump.
Oh, Jesus, straight out.
That's it. But it's rideable on the street. Like mechanically, it will ride fine on the street.
Yeah. So how much extension you got on the rear swing arm?
7 inches.
7 inches.
Yeah. So it's a Hayabusa swing arm that I basically grafted into the chassis. And then I had some bolt-on extensions on it, but they looked like hell, so I ended up putting these billet welded ones on them.
Beautiful. Say, let's have a look what else you've got over here then. Steve, this is basically a Water Buffalo GT750, but wow, nothing like I've ever seen before. This is absolutely beautiful. What year is it?
1975.
75. All right, give me the story on this. It's got to be a good one.
Initially started out as building it for vintage road racing, and then I thought it would make the perfect actual cafe racer.
So, okay, so you got these expansion chambers on there. Now, these are set up for the 750, were they, or is this something that you built?
That was a kit that came from Schwarbrick in the UK, and then I TIG welded it all together to fit the chassis.
Okay. So who did all the painting in the frame, and the wheels are beautiful?
The paint was done in the garage. The wheels are Marvick magnesium wheels, and they were powder coated at the same time that the frame was powder coated. Okay.
And you added on the clip-ons and...
Those are Tomaselli clip-ons that basically I had kicking around. And we painted it in the garage, and without actually seeing it out in the sunlight, the paint is amazing. My neighbor's a painter, Mark. He's a great painter, and we splashed it in the garage. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Now, what's been done to the motor?
The motor's a fully built TR spec race motor. It's got a reed valve conversion on it. It's got a close ratio transmission. It's an Electrics World self-generating ignition. It's got TM38 carburetors on it. It's extremely healthy.
Yeah, so what kind of horsepower do you think you're pushing out now?
It makes over 100 horsepower.
Wow!
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, and I bet it sounds like it's going to go too, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, maybe we'll start it later on, we'll see.
We'll scare the children.
Yeah, I guess. Not to mention ourselves.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now let's move on to your next Suzuki. So now I understand, Steve, this is your favorite bike. Now, I understand that you were telling me that you've bought and sold this how many times?
I bought it twice and sold it once.
Yeah, to get it back, because now you're not going to sell it because you don't. This is your favorite bike.
It is my favorite.
This is a
bike.
keeper from now on in.
I love this bike.
Yeah, so tell us about it.
I bought it off a guy out in London that was drag racing in it. It had all stock suspension and everything in it, but it's a fully built motor, so it was extremely healthy then.
So now, is this an 1100, GS 1100, or?
It was a GS 1100. Yeah. The motor's at 1260 cc's now.
1260 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it runs very well.
Yeah.
And with the new suspension and everything in it, it handles extremely well. The frame was substantially modified on this, so I gusseted the hell out of the frame on this thing so that it basically doesn't twist anymore.
So you modified the frame?
Oh yeah.
So this thing's right down to the last nut and bolt and totally rebuilt by yourself?
Completely. 100%.
Yeah. So you're a real Suzuki man, and you must know these things inside out and backwards.
I've always had Suzukis, and they've always treated me well, so there's no reason for me to buy anything else.
You know, this motorcycle looks like it's just come out of the showroom now.
Yeah. It was my take, when I actually built this bike, I wanted to build what Suzuki would build as a 1983 new model Suzuki.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah.
So that's what you had in mind originally?
That was my vision when I built this thing.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think you more than hit the mark.
Yeah. Like when I look at a new Bandit, I look at this and I think this is nicer than a new Bandit.
Yeah. Right, so let's move on to your next Suzuki. So Steve, we finally found a stock GT750. Must be the only stock bike here, isn't it? Pretty well.
The Honda.
Oh, we've got a Honda. We'll talk about the Honda in a minute. But so here we have a really nice condition. What year?
77. Last year.
Last year. 77 GT750.
Yeah, GT750B.
Give us a little bit of information on this. When did you come by this? And
I've had this bike for, I guess, about 3 years now, and basically most of the bikes that I've constructed are meant for one person, me. And Lukey, my little guy, loves riding on the motorcycle, so I thought that this would be something that I would be comfortable with, and it's very comfortable for him.
Yeah. So you bought it for the family.
This is a family bike.
This is the family bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. Well, it's in really nice shape, you know, and I mean, anybody knows, knows anything about Suzuki and the GT750, that thing is bulletproof. I mean, they go on forever and ever and ever. I mean, you can't kill them. They're a really strong motorcycle, and I think being more sought after today. It seems to be a machine that's coming back into its own.
Yeah.
With collectors looking for them.
I don't know whoever designed this bike. It's a fantastic motorcycle. Like, it doesn't have a boatload of power, but it has plenty enough power. They called it the Flexi Flyer back in the day. I love the way it handles, actually. The brakes are kind of like 2x4s, but other than that,
well, that's the brake of the day. You know, drum back, and you got twin discs on the front, and the discs look like they could be on a Mack truck. You know.
Yeah.
So. Steve, listen, thanks very much for showing us your wonderful collection of machines here. I just got one more favor to ask, because on our show, everything's about sight and sound as well. So, can you maybe get something running before we leave?
Take your pick.
Let's get them all running. No, I'll leave that up to you. Maybe we'll pick the little GT750 because I hear it sounds like a Banshee.
It does.
All right, let's try that.
All right.